Hey, what's happening? I'm N64 Josh, and I have Peon from Beyond the Metagame podcast. What's going on, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well on Steve Josh. I'm happy to be here. I'm a fan of your show. Been listening. I hear you've been having some problems in game, and today I'm hoping we resolve some of those.
Cool. So you got some like program you can like hook me up to the Matrix like Neo, and I can I know kung fu. Like, is that what's gonna happen?
More or less.
Oh,
that's the general
right.
idea.
I was expecting a no, so this is good. This is good.
I bought you a scarf and some gamer glasses, and you're gonna wake up tomorrow looking like a Chilean-born man named Gonzalo Barrios, aka Zero. No, I don't know.
All right. So, real quick, for those that maybe haven't heard of the podcast or know about you, or whatever, like give us the plug, man. Like,
sure thing. So, I am the host of Beyond the Metagame podcast. Me and a good friend of mine, fellow competitor, AV, started the podcast because we know a lot of people talk about improving at the game, but it's kind of abstract how to actually improve, especially once you're in a rut and you play the game for fun. It can be hard to understand how to get from mid-level to high level or low level to mid-level. And so our mission statement is to help people along the way and to make them enjoy the game more. I'm a competitive player for the last 4 years. I've beaten top 20 players in my day. There's a lot of people better than me, but I definitely have some experience under my belt. And that's me.
Right on, man. Right on. And the podcast can be found on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify.
Yes, sir. Anywhere you can find a podcast, YouTube.
YouTube also.
That is Beyond the Metagame podcast. Give it a listen. I think a lot of your community will benefit and enjoy it.
Right on. Yeah. It sounds like it. So, well, very cool. I'll make sure to include some links in the description of this video. So, of course, as you guys can see, I'm doing this live on twitch.tv/N64Josh. So you can give a follow over there if you want to. So, where do you want to start, man? What do you?
Sure thing. So before I recommend anyone, before I could recommend a plan for you, start giving you some more structured tips. I would like to know, like, what do you want to get out of this? Where do you see yourself? Maybe 2 months after Ultimate drops. What is going to be your relationship with the game?
So, probably my goals with Smash Ultimate are more than just with playing the game, but also with content creation. I want to be able to have entertaining streams that have gameplay that's fun to watch, right? And then on top of that, I have a plan for quite a few YouTube videos and things like that are going to be more than just surface stuff, things that I'm going to have to really get a good understanding for the game.
Sure thing. Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. And especially I think, you seem to be such an avid fan of the competitive scene. When I listen to the podcast, I'm always impressed with how much you know and how much you seem to watch the game. I think that like just improving your skills overall will also help you with your enjoyment of the game. Like a lot of like the rock, paper, scissors, chess like aspect of the game are kind of under the surface a little bit. They're kind of baked into the match, and the better you are at the game, I found the more enjoyable it is to watch too. So I think that'll be a benefit for you.
Yeah, for sure. I can tell you right off the bat, like one of my biggest weaknesses is just jumping in and playing, and there's not a lot of trying to pick up on reads from my opponent or things like that. It's you heard me say it on my podcast, but it's just I'm just very aggressive in trying to get stuff started, and I usually end up leaving myself open for punishment.
Sure. Well, that's a very common mistake. I think like one thing that's so fun about Smash, you jump in, you beat the crap out of your opponent, and that it's inherently fun, right?
Oh, for sure.
So that's where we like naturally lean towards. But of course, like being a really good player is more nuanced than that, right? There's more to it. So I'll break it down in two ways. One, there's a really intuitive way to improve at the game, and that's on a mechanics basis. You want to approach a level where you and your computer, or where you and your character have complete like cognitive harmony. Where your character is no longer a character, but it's you in the game, right? And that's a really hard place to be. Mewtwo King's kind of famous for saying, until you can input 99% of the time right, you're not good enough. So in your free time, let's say your combos, you don't really know what to do with your combos. You don't really, maybe you accidentally use one attack when you mean to do another one. Those are mistakes that you can quantitatively practice in your free time, right? Hitting the punching bag, doing drills, doing the same combo over and over and over again until you get it. In terms of your actual raw, like mechanical skills, like where do you see yourself? Like one out of 10?
I'm probably, I don't know, like 5 or 6 maybe.
Okay. Well, hey, that's something. That's something right there. And then the other half of the game, which is equally important but a lot harder to improve at, is understanding your habits and your opponent's habits, right? And learning kind of that rock paper scissors aspect of the game, right? Like let's say, look at these two Marios here. Let's say I F smash you. So shield this for me, Josh. Right? Or yeah, see that I misinput it already. I jinxed it, man.
It was on purpose.
It was on purpose. It was to prove a point. No, but let's say I attack your shield, right? Now, I want to attack your shield, and now I'm thinking, okay, I've conditioned him to shield. So next time I walk up to you, maybe I'll grab, expecting the shield, right? And that kind of mix-up game, understanding what your opponent's habits are and trying to punish off that. That is the part that's most important to hone in before Ultimate, because a lot of the mechanics are going to be different in Ultimate. So that's what I'm. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. So first, I see a slept from the chat. Hopefully, I said that right.
Yes.
He said he heard there was from a little bird that there was a Mr. Chop here. So
how's it going?
So what's up? Thanks for jumping in. So. You are actually not the first person to reach out to me this week after this show. There's probably been, I don't know, 5 or 6 different. I've had different DMs on Twitter from people like, "Hey, man, I could hear your frustration, and I think I can help." And so, somebody mentioned to me like the tomahawk grab, I think is what it's called. Is that
yes.
Is that correct? Right. And so I've immediately started implement. Like I had to look it up. But then I immediately started implementing it, and I began to see where I could train my opponent to shield when I wanted him to shield and not even throw an attack, right? And just immediately get in and get the grab and get things started. So I think for me, one of the biggest problems is just I just need to keep doing this. It's just like it's just once it gets like rinse and repeat kind of, that's when it starts to click with me. I found my play. If you heard me say it on the podcast, like I'll watch something and then I'll just do it over and over again until I'm like, okay, I got this, I got this down. And,
right.
But then there's other aspects of it too. That whole like chess game, that's where this goes all the way back to like me with first person shooters. Like I get into first person shooters and I could do well because I would just, again, be aggressive, get those headshots. But when it came to like a 1v1 match or things like that, like I usually, if the person played any kind of cat and mouse with me, it was game over. Like if they wanted to go head to head, I was usually going to win. Otherwise, Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I think that, so there's 2 different ways to look at it. Like maybe that is your play style, Josh. Maybe like, at your best form, at your peak, you're going to be the kind of player that's just crazy aggressive. I'll cite in the Smash 4 scene, Elegant, Fatality, 2 very aggressive players that have success on the national stage. But what they do well is they know how to make their aggression work. And I want to do a little exercise right now, actually, where we play a match, and I'm going to stop the match and ask you a question, in the middle of the match. All right. You'll know when, but just play it out like you normally would. And let's see if I can, let's see if you can answer the question correctly when we get there. Okay. Great. I get to answer questions live.
I promise it won't be any calculus or any, I don't know. I wouldn't know the answers to anything like that either.
The answer is C. Correct. Yep.
Always, man. Always. All right.
Oh man. Now my palms are sweaty.
Hey, I'm playing your boy Mario too, so
Okay.
you gotta show me the stuff. All right, let me see what you got.
I gotta show you the
Oh,
stuff.
I should have chosen a different color. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I came into your own stream and used your own color, Mario.
It's all good.
That's disrespectful. Oh, hey, there we go. So, oh, good there. Oh, you are aggressive. I see it now. Oh. Stuff. Ooh. Good coverage.
Oh, nice.
All right, so I'm gonna pause.
Okay.
So, if I were to ask you, why did you die there? What would be your answer?
Because I was too close to your up smash.
Sure. Now, if I were to answer why did you die there, it would be because I shielded your F smash. And why did I shield your F smash? Because throughout that entire stock, you had shown the tendency to attack me when you were close to me. You did grab me in the very beginning of the game, but every other time you had the option, you attacked my shield. So I waited until you were at high enough percent to where I could safely punish it.
Okay.
That's the kind of stuff that is going to inform your play, right? And the way to get there is to just be conscious. Every time that you take a stock or you lose a stock, I know you've said on the podcast, you're a stock and a half kind of a guy. You'll take that first stock, but it's that second stock that you can't just quite close out.
Right.
The way of getting there is to understand why every stock that you take is taken and why every stock that of yours is taken. And that is very complicated. You could even condense that to every time you get hit. Ask yourself, okay, why did I get hit? What did he know that I didn't? Right? And sometimes, some spaghetti happens. You just throw out some random stuff and it works. But, try to be as critical as you can, okay?
Okay.
So let's try that again. Keep playing, and next time one of us dies, I want you to know why.
Okay.
Oh. Oh no. Hi, Josh. It's getting close, Josh.
Oh, don't worry.
Don't get nervous.
Don't. You telling me not to get nervous? All I am is nervous. Are you kidding me?
Oh, that was a good dash. Oh! Okay. Why did you kill me, Josh?
I mean, it. The chat's going. I love spaghetti. I love lasagna. Mamma mia. I mean, my honest answer is because I decided to throw the up smash right there. Like, I didn't pick up anything that you were doing. I was like, hey, hopefully this lands. If I'm gonna be honest, right? It's not like I was like, oh, he started jumping at me backwards. Let me throw this. Right? I didn't like it. I don't think I picked up on anything. Right? It was like, here's the opportunity. I'm gonna throw this and see if it lands.
Right. And I would argue that you caught on Now this is why I think you killed me, and I think that you knew this, but subconsciously. It says I kept running up and running backwards, running up, running backwards. You threw out a really safe but lethal move, being the up smash,
Gotcha.
which had very high reward and very little risk because you called out you called out my movement. Did you do that consciously? Were you thinking about it? No. But that's okay. You showed good intuition by it. Now, like, have you heard of like the competence curve? Like, you start off at like a hobby, and at first you're unconsciously bad, and then eventually you become consciously bad. You're like, wow, okay, maybe I do suck at this. And then eventually you kind of become consciously good. Like, hey, you know what? I can kind of hold my own. And eventually you just play, and you're just sick. You don't think about it. You're getting all these crazy reads. Like Nairo. When Nairo plays, he doesn't say, I read how his neutral options, and I saw. No, I hit him, right?
Right.
But all of his stuff works because he's become unconsciously good. To get there,
literally really everyone in my chat is thinking right now, could you use smaller words for him?
Okay, sorry,
no, I'm just kidding. No. I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Yeah, like basically you have to walk along that curve. You have to go from unconsciously bad to unconsciously good. But to get there, you have to be conscious. So you have to understand why you're getting killed and why you're killing to develop that kind of unconscious critical thinking, thought process. Right? Because you'll say things like get destroyed on your podcast, like you have trouble closing out that second stock. In Smash 4 and in Ultimate, your habits and your opponent's habits are going to be extremely important to understand in real time. That's kind of like the basis of competitive Smash.
Got you. Okay, I see. Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot on our show about like trying to pick up like what I would say are bad habits, but what I'm getting from you and just from this conversation is like picking up more just on patterns and habits. Not necessarily that they're bad, but they may be overused, giving away opportunity for people to punish them.
Man, like, you just got it. Like right now, that little kernel that you just said took me 2 years to learn. Basically, I'll give you a little anecdote. There's this player in my scene that grew up that would always destroy me, and this dude, his whole play style was just a bunch of good habits. But the thing is, his habits are still habits,
right?
And yeah, basically, it's a race to see who can understand the other one first, right?
You know what this feels like? I'm just going to throw this out here, but like, when somebody first picks up a controller to play a fighting game and they just mash every button and they are as random as you can possibly be, I almost feel like you're trying to get back to that point, but while knowing what you're doing.
It's basically like this. It's like you want to be that guy that presses all random buttons, but just happens to press the best option randomly over and over again. Right? Like if he only picked safe options but was random about it. Right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of the perfect player. It's a guy who picks one of 6 options kind of at random, but all of them are good options.
Well, I think part of it too for me, a game like Smash is so different. Probably the fighting games that I was the most proficient in, probably the fighting game I was the absolute best in was Killer Instinct. And I don't know if you're familiar with that game or not, but like that game was a little bit. So that game was all about landing the biggest combo and keeping the combo going, but through a random button combinations that were like charge for 2 seconds and then start, slide in with an attack, and then you would enter button combinations similar to like Street Fighter, like where, Ryu's Fireball and things like that. It was a combination of those things. Well, coming from Street Fighter, where I learned every character and played, knew every move and everything like that, moving into Killer Instinct, it was like, oh, this is simple. And I could dominate that kind of game because it was so mechanical for me. And I could string such long combos together that allowed, even in the arcade, I talk about it on my podcast before, like I had grown men like, kid, how are you doing this? And I'm like, Just put your quarter up there. You're next. You know what I mean? And so, but what the point of that is, I feel like because of that mechanical thought in those other fighting games, I even tackle Street Fighter very similar. This game kind of throws that all into it throws a huge monkey wrench in that, because there's way more. I want to look for, I've mentioned it, like I see Leo is in the chat, like I watch his Link and he can his spacing with me, I can see exactly what's happening. I don't know how to get around it. And then I just see it happening over and over and over again. So then in my brain, I'm like, hey, what's that combination with Mario? Right? Like what are those same three moves? And so that's what I kind of found myself looking for. And then I think that's why I hit that frustration in that wall, because I'm like, this isn't here. I have to get to where I want to get with Mario by punishing, by getting in close, by getting those grabs, by getting those combos started. And when I'm playing against somebody that's really good at spacing, like my frustration level is through the roof.
Right. Well, sure. So the problem that you're describing to me is also very common. Especially Link. Link is kind of like, I don't mean this in a mean way, but Link is kind of a noob slayer. Like when I first got into Smash 4, Link, I could have sworn to the heavens that Link was the best character in the game, because I could never get in on his projectiles.
Gotcha.
And there are answers to Link. I mean, I'll just tell you right now, if you stand about this close away from Link, to where he can't really use his projectiles and you're outspacing his sword, you'll ruin his day.
Interesting.
Link's very slow, so you beat him just by waiting for him to do something and punishing. And when you have the lead, make him approach. I mean, those are some cheats. You kind of learn a general game plan, character by character game plans.
And this is Toon Link, by the way, that I'm talking about too. That's who Leo plays as.
Oh, Toon Link 2 actually. Both, while they are very different characters, their kind of approach to the game is pretty similar, right? The way that they approach neutral, right? They don't want to approach. They want to set up a wall and try to dare you to break it, right? And then in the process, they cut you up, kill you, death by 1,000 cuts, right? That's kind of the whole game plan. Mm-hmm. The way you beat that kind of zoning play style is just use shield a lot, and get in his space, but don't commit to anything. Make him throw the first punch and then counter punch. That's just a pro tip right there. But
okay.
But when it comes broadly, right? I mean, Ultimate comes out in 2 weeks. Right now, spending a bunch of time learning matchups and stuff like that isn't going to be your best usage of time, because all that might go out the window. The meta might be so unrecognizable in 2 weeks from now that the time spent into that might be too late. Too little too late. But you can start building those building blocks right now. And that comes to, how do you approach the game? How do you interact with your opponent? How do you learn their habits before they learn yours? How do you develop self-awareness to where you understand, okay, I did this option 3 times in a row. He's going to be ready for it. How do I mix this up? So I would really encourage both you and your whole community to try to have that approach to the game more broadly. When it comes to specific matchups and specific combos, all that's going to change. But I do think maybe, well, I don't know. Do you have any comments on that first off?
No, I mean, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, because there's going to be certain things that are going to go to the wayside. I mean, I'm not real sure how I'm even going to get combos started with Mario, other than, getting people up in the air at this point, right? Because the down throw up tilt's gone.
Sure thing. Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Well, hey, you want to take a minute and a half break and beat each other up real quick?
Yeah, let's do it. I want to hit the chat real quick, though. If you guys are just joining, we're doing a live, basically, I'm just getting some Smash consulting. I guess is what we're gonna call it. So, oh my gosh, your name is always on the tip of my tongue, but I'm afraid I'm gonna say something wrong. Say your name again for me.
My name is Dane Peon Hartog. But you can
Peon.
call me
There we
Peon.
go. There we go. Peon. So from the Beyond the Metagame podcast, and so let's see. Leo says, like what? Let's see. What do I do when someone is doing that close-up string? Okay. Yeah.
Okay, how about the other end for zoners?
Yeah.
That's a good question, Leo. That's a really good question. I'll play a zoner and I'll demonstrate it for both of you guys.
Okay, cool.
But beat each other for 20 seconds?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, I like that down tilt a lot, actually. I think this might be going to sudden death. Oh, okay. If that was tournament, you won. All right, this is where boys become men.
Oh, you got me. That's where boys become men. Oh man.
Okay.
GG.
Yeah, GG, my brother. GG. How about I play Toon Link and we can go over that matchup in specific and we can play maybe a stock or so, and then you can tell me kind of some of your frustrations about it, and we can talk about like Toon Link versus Mario, for instance.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think I can tell you right off the bat one of the when I'm what it does is it throws me off my game, right? And when I am frustrated and can't figure out how to land, how to get anything started, how to land any hits, that kind of thing, it's game over from the start, right? Even certain matches that I see as soon as I see Toon Link, I'm like, oh, I know how this is gonna go. You know what I mean? Like, and so part of it is just a matter of learning the matchup, right? That's gonna be part of it for me. But all right, so here we go. Let's.
All right. I'm gonna be as annoying as possible.
Yeah, do it. I mean, the first time I played Leo, and his Toon Link was literally like boomerang, arrow, jump in the air, throw the bomb straight down at my head. I'm like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, well, Toon Link and characters like him, their whole game plan is just to make you play their game, right? And that's why they can be kind of frustrating to deal with. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, I hate fighting Toon Link. I hate him.
Okay, good to know.
The world would be better off without it. Oh,
didn't get my.
I started jump there.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about how to approach Toon Link. And now this is just basic Mario. The fun thing about Mario is you get in someone's face, and kind of like Killer Instinct you were talking about, you destroy them. You hit them for 70% if they're a fast faller, right?
Right.
Toon Link, his only chance to win this is if he prevents that from happening, right? So how is he going to do it? He's going to use his projectiles, his boomerang, his bomb, and his arrow. All three of those options get beat by run-up shield. So if you run up shield and I boomerang, right, you can punish.
I see.
It's harder on Wi-Fi than it is in person, I'll admit. But basically, I wouldn't roll, and this goes for any sort of approach character versus a zoner. I would try not to roll at all or spot dodge. I would stay grounded, and I would use that shield a lot. Because when you approach, your shield beats everything.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's a really big thing in this matchup. Of course, one thing that I can do is if you shield, I can bomb and grab you. That's the mix-up here. So you have to avoid those two things: is getting shield grabbed and getting hit by my projectiles.
Gotcha.
Now, when you can condense and kind of compartmentalize the matchup in such a way to where, okay, I'm in this state right now, we're in neutral, neither of us have a clear advantage. all I have to do is not get hit by a projectile or by grab. Suddenly, your entire game plan gets simplified. And it becomes easier, you know. You're not trying to beat Toon Link. You're trying not to get hit by projectiles or get grabbed. Right? That's the process that you're working towards.
Gotcha.
So try that when we play this stock, okay?
Okay.
And it's easier said than done, but... Nice. I really like that fireball.
That's what the other Toon Link always tells me too.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So I am seeing some things that that are definitely helpful. So a couple things I'd keep in mind.
Okay.
Just as Mario in general, but this is also just kind of a fundamentals thing. When you have an opponent at 100%, unless you have a guaranteed kill throw, like your back throw is going to kill or whatever, I would just focus on throwing your opponent off stage. One thing that I haven't been seeing you do too much is when I'm off stage, the best thing to do in Smash 4 especially, but in Ultimate, I think this will be similar, is just staying on stage, keeping your stage control, like foregoing the opportunity to edge guard and just sitting on the ledge and waiting for my reaction and trying to punish it. So like, let's say I roll onto stage or jump off the stage, just staying on the stage and like punishing my option to get back onto stage.
Okay.
I'll introduce another topic. Not to throw too much at you at once, but the way I think
it's
about
like I'm a
this game-
sponge, man. Just keep it going.
Okay,
I'll go back and watch this video. So
sure thing. One thing that I think is very helpful in this game and other Smash games as well is to compartmentalize each aspect of the game. So there's kind of this flow chart with Smash 4 where you have two people in neutral, no one has a clear advantage. Then one person wins, like let's say, you know, I run up and I grab you, right? Let me do that.
Yep.
I throw you off stage. Now I have advantage. Oh, sorry, buddy. Were you not ready?
I was drinking water. It's fine.
My bad. So let's say yeah, like I throw you off stage.
Yep.
Now I have advantage. You have to come into me. So I'm punishing your options and trying to get you to commit, right? And so that's the transition from neutral to disadvantage. And what you should do is once you have advantage, your goal is to keep it by any means necessary. So that means if I run off and do this, and now I have disadvantage, I just threw away my advantage.
Got you.
So basically, you want to stay on center stage as long as possible. I want to be the guy in the middle. Now you beat me, and now you threw it away, right?
Yep.
So like if you watch Zero play Smash 4, the dude, once he sits center, once he gets the opponent off stage, he'll keep him there forever. And how to do so, you know, is character dependent, matchup dependent.
Oh, we have socks now. I thought we were still on time, so I was like, oh, we're good.
Oh, sorry, bud. I'll put it on to time.
No, I don't care.
Easier.
We can throw on a million. Like now that I know, I'll just play. I'll try not to die.
Yeah,
as easily.
all up the stock count. So I'm sorry. I kind of okay. Yeah, actually, you're controlling the rules right now.
Okay.
Like I'm sorry for the lecture, but what you take from that is when you're in advantage, I want you to be like, okay, Josh, stay in advantage. Don't even worry about hitting him. Just think, I want to be the guy standing in the center of the stage. And then everything else, your punishes, your kills, will all come naturally from that basic principle.
Okay, I understand. So, I mean, and like you said, it's basically just waiting to see how you get back on stage.
Right. So let's say in this situation where you don't really have any other option other than going high or going low. Now you're at ledge, and I'm just gonna wait.
Okay.
But you can also be aggressive with it. I mean, like, it's more nuanced than that. I just want you to. Oh, I tried.
Yeah.
I want you to practice the concept of like really compartmentalizing the game and breaking it down to its simplest form. So right now, for instance, your challenge is, okay, how do I get in on this Toon Link? How do I get the first hit? And how do I not get hit by his stuff, right? That's your challenge. The moment that you have me an advantage, like you grab me, let's say, now you're thinking, okay, how do I keep him squirming? How do I keep him there? And I want you to kind of have this phase shift in your head to where, okay, now I punish. Now I chill out. Now, I'm scoping out, trying to get the first hit again. And now I'm trying to rack on as much damage as possible. I want you to have those kind of two modes in your gameplay that you think about.
And so I think I can even add to that just a little bit, but like, because on top of this, you're also thinking about percentage, right?
Yes.
So like you're kind of doing both these things at the same time. But I usually just look at percentage, like, okay, I'm at this percent, here's the moves I can do for this to get the most percent off them. Then they're at this percent, but now I'm understanding that even, like keeping them at a disadvantage as long as possible is, which sounds obvious when I say it, but like knowing my playstyle or my, what I'm typically thinking about is like I was breaking it down into those percentages more than anything else. Like, okay, I'm at 20, I can still maybe get a combo with my down throw, right? And then now I'm at 30, so it's going to be a down throw to a fair or an up air. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, sure. Here, how about rack me up to 80%, and I'll illustrate the concept. I think what the way that you thought of it is perfectly intuitive. I think that most people that haven't spent a lot of time playing this game competitively probably share in that mindset. Of course, this is all revelations I've had after years of playing, right? So right now, let's say I'm at 77%.
Okay.
I could die to a fully charged Mario F Smash, for instance. Mm-hmm. But because I'm in a situation where I have a lot of options, I can jump, I can attack, I can jump off stage, I can run through you. I have all these defensive options right now, and I know that you can kill me with an F Smash. So I'm going to be thinking, okay, don't get hit by an F Smash, Dane, or Peon. Don't get hit by an F Smash. Mm-hmm. But now let's say you grab me and up throw me, and now I've double jumped, and now I have less options. That's when you can start using your kill moves. So like up throw me, and let's say I double jump, right? And I don't want to land, and then boom, you can F Smash me. That's why it's important to distinguish between like the neutral state and the advantage state. Right. Is because that's when you really get your big meaty kills. I see a lot of lower middle level players will try to fish for their kill options in this situation where you'll just run up F Smash me.
Oh, dude, I've finally had to break, like, I feel like I have broken that bad habit of, like, as soon as I see 92%, it's just headbutt after headbutt after headbutt after forward smash. You know what I mean? Like, right. And then due to misinput, one time I literally threw 3 of these right in a row. I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? I'm trying to dash attack.
Right, and you'll notice a lot of top players, they won't get their kills just like run up attack.
Right.
They'll get their kills. It'll seem like the opponent had no other option, and the like Zero just covered the last option they had left with a F Smash or something like that. That's what you want to do. You want to poke around, be safe in the neutral game like this. Be safe, and then take that opportunity. Now I have you on a platform, and I have an opportunity here. Now I can make something. You've extinguished some of your options, and now I can cover something and hope I get a kill. So yeah, you're not going to get your kills in neutral. You're going to get your kills in advantage, and that's a really important concept to think about. That I think I've noticed you could benefit from.
So let's backtrack a little bit here. Okay. you've been doing this for 4 years, right? Playing the
Yes.
game seriously for 4 years. I mean, 4 years ago is when you started taking Smash to a, like before that it was just casual or not not at all.
Casual. I've been playing this series my whole life, but 4 years I started playing competitively.
Okay. What were some of your, like, actually, I want to stop because I have 2 questions I want to get to, but I want to stay on topic with what you were talking about with your advantage, disadvantage, and neutral. How, like, are there ways to practice this? Are there, like, what?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Other than just saying, "Oh, this comes in time," because obviously that's the simple answer. But if we want to practice efficiently, what are some things that we can do to, maybe? What are some obvious things that yes, you are an advantage right now, or not, and not even obvious things, but things that aren't quite as obvious that yeah, you're at the advantage right now. Things. Does that make sense to ask it that way?
That is a perfectly great question. That's fantastic. I think of improving at Smash like hiking up a mountain, right? Where no matter what you do, you'll probably get closer to the summit. Like if you just turn on the game, you'll rise in elevation. You'll improve in some capacity, even if you're not trying to. But you can obviously do things, to like hitch a ride and get a pretty decent way up the mountain. There's things that you could do to elevate or to expedite the entire process. So it will come in time, but there's ways to practice it. So yeah, let's go into another game, and I'll show you ways to the biggest part is thinking about it at all, and then let's go into the stage. It's more of a visual thing, I think. But I think the answer is both. There's ways to practice it, and it'll come naturally. But we don't got the time for that. Ultimately, comes out in 2 weeks.
Exactly. Well, and it's this is the kind of thing that I'm looking for, not only for myself, but like I've had a lot of people in the community be like, how can I improve at this game? Like how, like what, and I hate just saying, oh, it's just going to be time. Cause I listened to your show today and you guys were like, hey, did you have you have a tournament, so you play 8 hours a day up before that tournament. You think, oh, I should be really good right now. And you're no better than, or even worse than going into it because you kind of just mailed in the practice time. There wasn't actually anything beneficial taking place other than you just were showing up and playing.
Correct. I firmly believe that. So
I want to make sure that the people that ask, how can I improve? I want to give them some tangible things right now, which you're going to show me that yes, they will come in time, but even early on in the Smash Bros cast, I was like, I need to find a practice regimen. Like it's just the way my brain is. Like, do I need to do? And so I kind of started doing some things like that. Like I can't remember whose video it was, but it was like, I do this before I start and I do this. And some of those things I've kept with me. Some of those things I've stopped doing, but I did find it helpful,
Sure. Well, yeah, of course. I think that that's a totally legitimate concern. And so this is the way to improve right here. Okay. I'll tell you in the most condensed version possible. The way to improve first is to make sure that every movement you do with your character is intentional. Like let's say if you were to grab me right now, like combo me, Josh. So on that second grab, for instance, you did double up tilt, but I was able to jump out of the second one. Mm-hmm. What you should have done was up tilt and then short hop up air, right? So try again. I do down throw, up tilt, up air. There we go. So knowing your actual combos and knowing that at whatever percent my opponent's at, I know the optimal punish. And that's a tall order. That takes more than just playing. That takes going into the lab, picking a Toon Link bot, getting him to 40%, and seeing what combos are true in every scenario, right? So that's a really good tangible way to improve, especially when it comes like matchup to matchup, right? But the other half of the game is understanding why what you're doing is working and why what the other person is doing is working, right? It's that rock, paper, scissors game that all of us are good at to an extent if we've played Smash Bros. Before, but none of us have mastered it. I mean, even the best players in the world still improve at it day in, day out. And the way you practice that is just after every time you get hit by something, trying to trace back and contemplate and theorize why it worked. What did they know that you didn't? And putting that in words. I mean, literally even say it. If you're playing with your buddy, talk through it. You hit me, why, buddy? Like, tell me why you hit me. Please. I'm serious. That will get your mind working in an adaptive way very soon, very rapidly, where you see yourself starting to understand the game in a way that you didn't previously. Does that answer your question, Josh?
Yeah, and I think part of the long answer too is like we said, like if you find yourself in a, struggling with a certain character, like you said, go into training and get them to different percents and see what does work, see what doesn't. Grab somebody else to play with and be like, hey, you need to play as this character. I need to see, and then maybe even you could play as that character and learn kind of the ins and outs and what they're capable of and what maybe doesn't work in certain situations. So you can pick up on those, on those tendencies and things like that.
Absolutely. That's a great way of looking at it. I mean, really dissecting it, being a scientist about it. Don't just play it, think it. Like go, like you said, like if you were to grab me right now, Josh, like, do you know what the optimal combo would be?
If I was gonna throw down, I know I'd have to be in the air with a couple hops and maybe an up B.
Yeah. Maybe I would do like down throw, short hop, up air to up B. Maybe try that out.
Now I'm on the spot.
Now you're on the spot. Now it's grand finals. Oh yeah.
Oh.
I think you could have done one more up air.
No, I didn't hit my jump. Nope. So
that was it. Immediately jump after the second up air.
Yeah.
After the first up air.
Nope, I double jumped. But I mean, this is something I do pull off. That's about it though. This has been an area that I'm like, okay, I need to work on that because I know that from that combo I could do an up air to a fair on the edge, and it can be a kill. I've been watching enough videos lately and seeing that's something I've been trying to incorporate, but I haven't even I've been doing it in For Glory. I haven't even gone into training yet, which I know is where I should be practicing that stuff. But that's been one of my areas of frustration too. Is just like, okay, my lack of combos after this, because we call it 1,000-year up tilt. It's going away, right? Like
yeah.
And
sure.
So, which I think is great. Honestly, I'm like that. It seems cheap to me, and so I'm okay with it. I'm ready for more, more aerial combos and things like that. And it's going to stretch me, obviously, because when you're used to just hitting up A, it's much easier than trying to, as you could see, do the jumps, hit the up air, and then follow up with something else.
Yeah. Well, I asked you, Josh, when you play Smash 4, do you ever play any of the characters other than Mario, or is Mario like 95% of what you do?
Right now, and since we started the show, I've only played Mario because I wanted to be proficient with one character going into Ultimate, and then I will play as, I have a handful of characters that I'm really excited to play as, and then honestly, I want to be able to play as. To say play as anybody is that's a stretch. There's so many many characters. So chat is saying I have over, so since we started the show, I have over 2,000 matches with Mario. and less than 30 games with the rest of the characters. We checked the stats yesterday.
Well, that's great. I mean, I do think that there are advantages to that. I would encourage you to, well, now, I know Daigo once put on the record, the famous Street Fighter player, saying that one way he would improve is he would try to win every game with a new technique, with a new move. He would never try to win the same way twice in a row, because he doesn't want to become predictable. When you play other characters and you try to, just use your fundamentals overall to win, even if you don't know the combos, even if you don't know much about how the character should be played, if you can still win or still do some good stuff, you're actually like exercising this part of your brain that perhaps only playing Mario is denying you from ever getting, right? Because you don't have these like you said, the 1,000-year up tilt to lean into. You have to really start thinking about other things. I would encourage you to pick the random button a little bit and still try to make it work, because that will make your Mario more well as well.
Oh, I completely agree. Like when I'm playing against another Mario, I'm like, oh, I know what to look for. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, okay. And like during before we got started, we were doing For Glory, and I was noticing that what this Mario did is he threw me off stage, and then as I was coming back, he would jump as if he was going to throw the fair, but then he would hit his double jump and actually follow me back to the stage and threw his fair at that point, and completely punished what I was like. There was no way I was getting back to the stage at that point. Like I had already thrown my air dodge, thinking I was going to he was going to try to spike me early on, and then I ended up getting spiked after the fact. So I was like, come on. But I immediately was like, oh, that's something I could definitely add to my repertoire,
Yeah, sure thing. Well, if you want to just like come in the game, I'm playing Cat and Falcon right now, and you can play Mario, and we can kind of talk through, some non-up tilt combos that I picked Cat and Falcon intentionally because he gets comboed by Mario like no other, for one.
Yeah.
Much to my detriment. I was an early Cat and Falcon man. Mario was like, Nerdy Jigglypuff says, how to fight a goddamn Mario. He's so safe. That sentiment I still rings in my heart because I've lost a lot of Marios in my day. But when you down throw, or so when you grab Falcon %, do you know what you would do? Like, do you have like a pre-rehearsed combo?
I mean, I will try to mix it up, but I mean, if it'd be a down throw and then like maybe between 1 and 3 up tilts, and then I may let him fall and then do another grab and then start it again, and then possibly get that short hop up air and then to the up B and then reset and just see where it goes next,
Sure thing. So like grab me real quick and try to do that. So
interesting.
So characters like Falcon, some of the fast fallers, you cannot rely on that, because if I DI downwards and hold shield, it won't work. So basically what you have to do instead is called the ally combo. So you do an up throw to a down air.
Oh yeah.
And then try to get something off that.
Oh, hang on.
I think, like diversifying your combo game, and then you can, Oh, see, that up air was beautiful, right?
Okay.
And then now on some of these 30% ranges, now you can start seeing those up tilts. Like now it's true for sure. Yeah, and then you can do whatever you want to me, Josh. But that's the thing. Like, the knowing your combos and being able to not rely on the up tilt, I think is really going to help you out. Especially going into Ultimate, where, like you said, you're not going to have that same option.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right, you want to play this one out? Just to give you a little break?
Yeah, let's give me a break. This sounds fun. Let's do it. He's only got one stock, guys.
Oh no. Oh, that downers was good. Oh, good. I don't know if you read my roll on purpose or not, but we'll say you did.
Yeah, let's say I did.
It's always intentional. If I teach you one, it's that you always say it was intentional. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I like that. Oh!
I ate the knee. Okay, come on, guys. 107.
Okay, please, Lord. Please.
Oh, I was going for the balloon.
Oh!
Wow, I could not get my grab there. Interesting.
Does he get it? Oh! That was lucky. Oh! Yes! All right. That one was lucky, but I'll take it. Yeah. So okay. So far, Josh, do you have any questions? Do you want me to elaborate anything specifically? Do you want me to like try to document more like what that progression path actually looks like what kind of steps you could take to actually practice these things? Or do you have any more questions about anything? Like, let me just hear where you're at.
Honestly, for me, I feel like I have enough to like go back and watch this a few times and just try to take a little bit more of it in. And then if you are interested, we could do this again, maybe in a, like a week or something.
Absolutely, man. I'd be happy to.
Okay. Yeah. So just because otherwise this is also going to the video is going to be super long. So
yeah, sure.
So, but I mean, this has been super helpful for me. I'm pretty sure, I'm excited to get this in front of the community as well. So can you plug all your stuff again?
Yeah, so you can check out my podcast. Atopia's in the chat as well. He's my co-host. He and I run a podcast called Beyond the Metagame. We're at Beyond Metagame on Twitter. Where we talk about improving, enjoying the game more, and have a general good time doing it. And yeah, I'm on Twitter at Peon_GCE. That's Golf Charlie Echo. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Okay, the chat just said Josh doesn't want 6-year-old kids telling him he's bad at Smash. I don't know if you saw that video that went out this week, but
no, it happened. I didn't see this.
You can look on my Instagram or on my Twitter. There's Nightcrawler's kid was like, Josh is kind of bad at Smash. So
Well, absolutely, man. Well, yeah, man. If I could summarize, and as I head out, is that just every time you get a kill, every time you get killed, think, why did it happen? Try to go from unconscious to conscious, and just work on if you have a specific matchup, work out your true combos in the lab. Especially in the ultimate, like now, there's 2 weeks to ultimate drops, right? The combos will be different.
Yep.
But learning to learn those combos will actually go a long way in ultimate. You want to, like, preparing yourself to prepare is super meta. Right? That's kind of what I'm all about. But it'll help quite a bit, man.
Okay. All right, man. Well, hey, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Of course, the links to check out all of Peon's stuff will be in the description. So go follow him on Twitter, check out his podcast, all that stuff. Like, it's really, really, really good stuff. And we're gonna do this again. Oh yeah, the road to Genesis. So someone in my community, Gabe, is he is paid for Crawler and I to go to Genesis, and so like to compete and everything. So this is it. The road to Genesis starts now.
We're gonna get you. You're getting some W's and be there. be there.
I wanted was a stock. That's all I wanted. I'm like, if I can get one stock.
No, dude, we're not selling for the stock. You're taking at least a game. All right.
All right, cool. Well,
I'll be cheering you on in person, man. I'll be there.
Awesome, dude. Awesome, great. The first one's on me. So, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.